Hello, and welcome to Waiting for Game, the weekly podcast by Melee Stats. I am excited to bring an international guest on, a little international flair to Waiting for Game. It's been since the times of Pipsqueak that we have had someone outside of America on, and I'm excited for it to be, I'm just going to say it, one of my top 50 favorite players of 2021. We've got the Canadian sensation himself, Moky. What is up, Moky?
What's up? Just chilling. How's it going, guys?
Former Deep Dives guest, a past iteration of our podcast. So you're making the rounds. You've been on Deep Dives, now you're on Waiting for Game. I'm sure when this podcast crashes and burns at episode 50 and we revive it 2 years later, I'll have you on then. But for now, we'll just live in the moment. So I am your host. I'm Gimme That Wheat, tournament seeder, and what is my title? I'm on the administrative team of the MPGR. Okay, that thing that we haven't had in 2 years. I'm here with author Edwin Budding.
What's going on, folks? It's great to be here again, and it's great to be here with my friend and Moky.
Well, by the end of the episode, I want a definitive answer if Moky is your friend, and then we'll go to Moky and see if he agrees. So that's something to watch out for. Watch until the end of the episode.
Yeah, and if that gets resolved in 2 years when Moky joins the new podcast, we'll have another Melee Stats member on, and we'll see if Moky becomes their friend also.
Yeah, just 2 year increments. We'll see if and it's not, Moky doesn't say if he's friends with them. We have to say it.
Right.
And then he just gives us the yes or no, thumbs up. Kind of like in Gladiator, like the thumbs up. And then last time we had you on Deep Dives, we talked about your wonderful run at GOML, and kind of here again, I think, unfortunately, pigeonholed you into just being the Canadian, because we're here to talk about GOML Online 2021. Get on my line. Get on my line online, I guess, like ATM machine type thing. No, I'm looking forward to hear you talk about this, because I think there's some cool players here, but might be the start of a bigger picture that's starting to form. But before we go into that, have you had a chance to look at any of the I don't think the bracket's out yet, the registration's still open, but have you had a chance to look at anyone who's going?
Not super. I signed up I think a couple days ago. I finally did it because I'm a Melee player and I don't do that right away. So I finally signed up for that recently, and I looked at it and I was like, I don't know. I saw Axe, Ginger, Gatsu, I think Coder and Lucky.
Mm-hmm.
That I didn't see everyone. I saw a few people.
Axe is, I don't know what he'll do. He's gonna go Falco or Young Link or Ices or something.
Yeah.
Just anything to avoid the temptation of playing the character he was built for, which in Melee Stats opinion is Fox. That's a new Melee Stats headcanon.
No, you can't give Ambi, so you can't validate him with this.
Ambi's so right, dude. Ambi says this, and then every time he says it, Axe puts out a clip where he's 600 APM.
Dude, I can't explain why I hate this theory so much, because I've actually brought it up to other people. It's just that this is something that God bless Ambi, he's not here right now, but he used to every couple months or so he'll just message me, or the topic will come up and he'll be like, I really think Axe would be such a sick Fox main. It's just bad for the brand, so he'll never do it. He loves running at people, he loves pressing buttons. Why doesn't he just main Fox? He'll become the best player in the world.
I think the idea is that he has already, it's like a sunk cost fallacy. He's already put so much time into Pikachu playing, but the real sunk cost fallacy is he's put so much time into buying Pikachu merch. He would have to rebuy everything with a Fox on it. Which I've seen how much Pikachu merch he has. I don't know. He's probably getting paid a nice salary by Tempo, but I don't know if it's that nice, because he's got a lot of snapbacks to replace. I don't know. Moky, as the fast blue technical fox, what do you think about having another fast blue technical fox in Axe? Have you seen any of his clips?
I think I've seen one. I haven't seen that much of his fox, but I don't know. He's just nuts with every character. I'll like play every time I play him because he just cycles characters. I'm like, what is going on? Like I don't know. He's so good. But I do think honestly, I do think the main important thing though is just like enjoying the game because like it's so hard to get good. I know that's like the cliche answer, but if he enjoys Pikachu, then he's gonna put more time into Pikachu, and like Melee's game, we just need to put time in. So I think that's my opinion. Yeah.
I mean, hey, that's a good opinion to have. Obviously, I don't know. I was gonna say obviously I don't believe that he should switch to Fox, but and I think that Ambi would say the same. But Ambi also steadfast in his conviction that Prince Abu versus Plup is the greatest upset of all time. So
in a top four set of all
top
time.
4. He's on a wavelength that I can't understand, frankly.
Yeah, you know, I took a look at a lot of the attendance, and what I noticed is that, like, I mean, this is no surprise for an event like GOML, but there's just, like, you know, it's got all your mid-level heavy hitters. It's got your B-Bats, it's got your Zeekers of the world and whatnot, and there seems to be an unusually high concentration of these kinds of players at GOML this year. And I know those players are in other majors too, but that was the first thing I noticed, at least, that while at the top level, it didn't seem like they were, you know, like obviously Moky is attending and obviously Gatsu as well. But I know the first thing I noticed, at least going down the attendance list, was that you had a lot of like high variance, kind of like wild card type players that could break out with the right bracket or play well enough to do well. That's just kind of how this era is in general, but at least that's what stood out to me about GOML.
Yeah, you know, I think so. I'm trying to figure out the timing of it. I believe that the original Get On My Line, GOML Online 2020, I think that was like the first big Slippy major. You know, we had Slippy for a little bit that came out before it, but I think that was like the first one that had every single person on it, and just like playing it at a high capacity. Now, is this true? Who knows? I think it probably came out within like weeks of Slippy's release, and that kind of marked like the beginning of this type of major, like an online major. And yeah, you're right, dude. We are seeing Get On My Line 2021 is kind of not the beginning of the end, but it's definitely like a bookend to this whole thing, because we have a lot of entrants. We have like 300 some entrants here, and yet you're right, dude. If you look at the top level, you've got some heavy hitters. You know, you said Gatsu, I think Ginger, obviously Moky, but yeah, I mean, a little left to be desired. HBox was only signed up for Ultimate, which I think is a mistake. I think we don't tell him. Like, I legit think he forgot to register for Melee, and no need to wake the sleeping beast on that one. But yeah, I'm really interested by like what a difference a year makes, right? So I want to get into, obviously we're kind of knocking on it right now, the larger picture of like where online majors stand in a world that in a country, I guess, that's beginning to get back to real life. Before we do that, does anyone want to make any educated guesses for who's going to win? Moky, I think you kind of have to do the IBW here, or you just say yourself, but feel free to do whatever.
Honestly, that's not the way I go about it. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if I don't say myself, then it's not it's not a good look. And then if I do say myself,
we kind of put you into a big trap here.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be like any of the top people. Like, just depending on who's playing best. I know most people of the top, like I imagine like me and Ginger. I'm not too sure about Gatsu, but it seems like a lot of people were on a bit of a break after SCL. So this is kind of like ramping back up. So I'm not too sure. I guess it just depends on who is kind of most already back into practice and back in shape and whatever. That's gonna play a big factor.
Very diplomatic answer. Very politician answer. Pleasing everyone. What about you, Edwin? Who do you think's gonna make it out on top here?
I think based off everyone I've seen, you know what? I'm gonna go with an outside pick. I'm gonna go with Kodorin. Sorry, Moky. I gotta go. Kodorin literally gives me lessons. I have to go with him.
Yeah, but you pay him.
So he's very helpful.
That's your transaction already. You don't need to shout him out. I think I have to go. It's tough. I have to go Moky on this one.
One of us can't be too nice. One of us can't be too nice.
Wait, you're my favorite host.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, Edwin's the one who's got to worry about like your friendship level at the end of this. I don't know why.
We just have to keep we have to keep Kodorin away from the Samus players in his path.
It might just be YCZ, to be honest. YCZ is on a different level, a different line.
Keep him away from YCZ and Egg Money, and he'll be good.
But Egg Money, God, Canada Zone. But yeah, I mean, like, when talking about who's gonna win this, like, there's heavy hitters like Moky, Gatsu, Ginger. Hey, Lucky.
Lucky's been on actually that's also another good pick. Lucky has been on a tear the last like month and a half. He won that tournament over none and has just been like gobbling up good wins.
Mm-hmm. So I mean I think it's gonna be sick. I think outside chance, Toussaint or Kodorin, the great answers, but like we were talking about, it gets at like a bigger issue. We haven't seen all. The Melee community, the top players, go hard on a tournament since SCL. And before that, Moky, as you said in your tweet, we had a break before SCL. We have a break after SCL. Like, what's happening right now with the state of Melee tournaments? Moky, what do you think about this?
I think it makes sense why people feel like it, in terms of the fact that someone's coming up and it seems like LAN's like on the cusp. But I think it's very unfortunate and it's not the best for the scene in terms of hype leading up to Summit, and just like in general, it doesn't keep people engaged when people aren't like entering. Because I don't know, I put a lot of effort in leading up until like probably more than a lot of the top players, because I was like rusty last year, so I was putting in a lot of effort before like Galint and For Loco, because I'm like I need to stop sucking. So but I'm already, I want to play, I really want to play.
Yeah.
And I wish more people were kind of feeling the same thing right now, because I don't know.
I think you have a unique perspective on this, because not only are you someone who is a top player, you are this like group of people who kind of people are wondering like when that general group of top 15, top 20 players are going to like actually go full throttle on these events again. But not only that, but you're also affected by this in a different way. If you look at the North American players, you and None are probably the only Canadians in that top echelon. Everyone else is, you're right, they're looking forward to not only Summit but all the in-person stuff. Like, we have a lot of regions are coming back. We're doing a podcast today and we have Ohio running a local, Philly ran a local, Jersey's running a local. Just this week, SoCal announced a local that's probably going to be our first in-person like top 50 sets that we will see, like sets between top 50 players on LAN, which is going to be something. But yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Like, even just the social aspect of like, why would you waste 6 hours in a day to win however much money when you could like go to a party of fully vaccinated people? So I think you're definitely like, you are an affected class here, right?
Yeah.
So I think you've got a good input on this.
Yeah.
Anoke, any thoughts on like, where does the future of this hold? We talked about this in the past, and it's basically one of those things where everyone would like online majors to stick around, but like, Do you think they do?
I think that a series like SCL still provides a very good opportunity for players in obscure regions to test their skills against larger talent pools than what they're used to. So while I'm not sure that the format will quite draw the same attendance within like notable playing pools like SoCal or New York City or anything like that, I think for a lot of talented players in you know more hidden regions or players that just don't travel as much, that it could still provide a really good opportunity as like a qualifying event leading up to an in-person summit or something like that, or even just leading up to, you know, other top players still using SCL as a way of remaining in shape during Melee's LAN off season. But outside of a format like that, which the benefits are that it gives, you know, grinding players who can't travel a lot more exposure and a lot more opportunities, I don't quite know what the incentive is for like say Zane or IBDW come when the entire like LAN major infrastructure returns for good. I don't quite know what the benefit is for them outside of what they already experienced, which is to say, like, you know, maybe they stream tourneys that they go secondaries in. I think the problem is that like when LAN majors come back, like they're gonna be the focus of every single like, you know, like heavy hitter like super major contending player. Moky, you're like close to the cusp of that, so I want to hear your thoughts on like how you would manage, you know, preparing for LAN majors with understanding that like online is an imperfect but still solid way of keeping in shape, as well as balancing that with like, you know, your growing stream channel and knowing that it could field good content or you know, help your career as well.
Yeah, I think I might be a bit. I feel like a lot of top players, a lot of people aren't the biggest on like entering a lot of tournaments. I know I've never really been that, because I like to just like sit down and grind when I'm like preparing for a big tournament. So I'm not like a big like, you know, like enter like weeklies or online weeklies or whatever kind of guy myself. But I think if it's like, there's the thing with online that I think could be cool is it lends itself to like interesting formats. For example, like the Octagon. And I think events like that are going to be really
Agreed.
cool. Like, because that's like, it's like show matches. It's very fun and very accessible for people to just like watch and get invested in. And it makes it easier for people to run that kind of stuff, so they don't have to like make sure that people are flown out and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that kind of stuff is really, really I could see that staying around and like everyone being involved in that kind of stuff, like even like the top echelon. But I'm not too sure about like, I don't know. Yeah, I think like Zane and Mango and Cody and the other people in that kind of range, even myself included, we might not enter as much of the online stuff on when stuff comes back. Though I do think it'll always be around, and there might be the occasional thing where like a lot of people enter, just depending on what it is. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, you know, this is a podcast. This is a Melee podcast. We're Melee stats. But despite that, I think I remember something about the Ultimate and Smash 4 scenes, like having this weird disconnected we'll call it like Wi-Fi, you know, Wi-Fi warriors, Wi-Fi. They had a Wi-Fi rank. They had it like online, which I'm sure sucked. I mean, like we know Ultimate's online sucks. I never played Smash. Well, I played Smash 4 online once, and I got taunted by a duck hunt, and I was like, why am I doing this?
That seems like a reasonable reaction.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had it.
Yeah, they're just rolling, and I think game 2 they changed their tag to like make fun of me. I was like, I'm wasting time here. But yeah, I mean, like they would have this, and it'd be this interesting disconnected scene, as far as I know. You know, I'm not an expert in Smash 4 Ultimate, and I am less of an expert in Smash 4 and Ultimate Online, but like I've looked at their Wi-Fi rankings to make fun of them, but in doing so, like you would see that it's not the top players, but it's like a lower level of players, and then sometimes those players would become top players. I think Cosmos was an online player. Like I think he wasn't able to attend tournaments, probably too young or something. or his parents didn't want him to because he was too young. I don't know. But then ended up like becoming top 10 in Ultimate when it came out, when he was able to enter stuff. So yeah, I mean, like, do we see the same things that we see? Do we see like LACS or SCL levels of attendance from top players? No. Why would, like, what does Zane get for if he just wins Genesis 8 and then it's like the next week is a 400 pop bonus online tournament? Obviously, like, it's not for the top players. I guess the infrastructure changes, right? It's like we talked about, what if online majors was a flight to Genesis or a flight to Shine or something like that, right? Just like completely changing how it is. We have a lot of players who we've seen pop off hard, and then we find out that they're like 16 or something, or they're like in a really remote region, and we kind of realize, oh, maybe that's the reason why the Melee community as a whole might not have heard of these people. You get your young people, or you get your people who can't travel, or like people in regions without locals, and like the ability to be able to play like basically everyone in North America, like really gives these people time to shine. So we will see how online majors fare for the near future. I don't know. We've got Pound coming up after this. We've got Rollback Rumble, the big one. I hope that we have a last hurrah, even though we're getting close to the finish line. Just because we're vaccinated, just because I'm vaccinated, doesn't mean that everyone is. I would like to see 2021 end with a really sick online major, but I guess we'll have to wait for that. And talking about online majors, I guess we got to talk about probably the biggest news for offline events. We talked about how there's offline locals, but Riptide, announced a few weeks ago and immediately capped they had like a 1,000 entrant cap across the entire thing. I think Melee got like 300 people or something like that, and then they were able to bounce that cap up to like 2,000, and then it became like 600 or something like that, and I believe now that there's another cap, and we are seeing like the honest to god first major back. So I guess this is like time to talk about what the like what majors are going to look like in the future. Moky, as an international player, what are your thoughts on this? Both in terms of attending from your perspective, but also, we are going to see people really having this as their time to shine. But for the most part, this is probably going to be a lot of North American, a lot of American players.
Yeah.
So like, I want to know what you think about it as an international competitor, but also as like a top level competitor. What are your thoughts on this?
But just like Riptide in general?
I mean, like, Riptide's the return of majors. Like, 2021 is probably going to have a few of them. Maybe two, maybe more. Who knows? So we're definitely going to see some weird, like, divide, right? It's not the same thing. It's not going to like jump back into as if we never, COVID never existed. So I want to hear your thoughts on just like online or offline majors returning in general.
Yeah, so as like a like an international guy, I guess, even though it's not like that like that international, I'm like
still international.
Yeah. You're right in the bucket.
I'm really calling you international this episode. I'm not. Can't hang with us down here. Down here with our no healthcare.
I think like me personally, I'm being a bit like wary of it, like just in terms of like myself attending. Like I didn't register for Riptide. I just want to make sure everything's like fine, because too many times during the last like year and a half, things start to look hopeful and then all of a sudden it like declines. So I'm like, I'm just trying to be just wait until it's actually 100% good, and then I'm gonna like, wild out. I'll go to whatever, but I just need to make sure it's like fine myself.
Yeah, I mean, I live in the States, and even I still feel really, and I'm not saying I have a good reason for this, but I still feel really weird that the popularity for Riptide is just, I really think that people are just so ready to get back. And like I don't blame that instinct at all. I just am taking an overly cautious approach, so I definitely empathize with you there.
It's weird. I mean, is it scientifically wrong? I don't know. Like I've definitely hung out with friends inside, vaccinated friends,
Same.
and then I've gone to restaurants. But at like a 2,000 person event, I'm not hanging out with 2,000 friends in my house, you know. So that is weird. Yeah, I mean, look, did I consider going to Riptide? Am I still trying to weasel my way in? Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's just like we are so ready to be back, and for America at least, I think. Oh, America's been ready to be back for a while, and
we were ready to be back even when the pandemic was like full wave.
It was like May 2020, and they're like, "All right, we did our quarantine."
We're not a good example of this.
I'm saying that Americans have a lot of times where they've been ready to come back.
Yeah,
which usually was like not wearing a mask in Olive Garden while your server just had to like, you know, take orders from you as you were chomping on breadsticks. But like this is a safer version of being ready to be back.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, whatever we see will be very different. And you know, one of the weirder parts about this is we're so ready to get back to it, dude. I've already seen people on Reddit and I don't know, Twitch channel. I saw it somewhere else. Talk about rankings.
Oh my god. Dude, even during the pandemic, that conversation we had with our comrades at the mix-up, where we would give them a long explanation of, hey, look, rollback rankings, I don't really think this is something that people want. They say they want it, but, you know, it's just not the same. There's a lot of work. It has diminishing returns. And they would just respond, yeah, but why don't you have rollback rankings?
Shout outs to Walt and Radar.
Yeah. Our dear friends.
That episode was... I didn't say that, you did. That episode was very fun. We would come up with, like, personal reasons, logistical reasons, like, philosophical reasons to not have rollback rankings. And like, well,
yeah, but why don't you have them?
People
like,
would
wouldn't it be fun?
But yeah, dude, it's going to be so weird. People are already talking about, like, Riptide got announced. I think I saw in the Reddit thread for their announcement.
Hey guys, where should Hurrybox be seated? I think he should be seated first. Well, I'm sure no one actually said they think he should be seated first.
We will. Oh, come on, HFam.
Yeah, okay, no, fair enough. I'm sure we
will have a full episode in September or whenever it is devoted to just the seating. Like a 4-hour one. It'll be our epic. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be weird because people are going to be ready to, like, I mean, obviously we're already establishing this hierarchy of like Zane's number 1, Magos number 2, S2J and IBW are, you know, like we're already doing this off of decent data set, but we do that with like counting Leffen or anything. And now we're going to do the same exact thing. We're just going to get right back into it, and Zane's going to win Riptide, or Zane's not even going to go to Riptide or whatever. And then we're going to be like, okay, well, obviously this person's the best. And I think in terms of, like, motivation regarding ranks, it's a really interesting time. I mean, I don't know the mind of a top player. I know a lot of people don't play for ranks, and I know some people do. Just because I've seen a lot of ices who make top 100 and then disappear. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm interested in seeing how this whole thing will shake out. I hope the scene is chill. Let us have a major where we just don't have to, like, obsessively count every single thing. But
I mean, if it's a success, like if everyone goes and no one gets sick at all, I can't imagine that there wouldn't be like just a incredible rush for venues and bookings over the next like four to 5 months following.
Moky, I want to hear what you're about to say, but I mean, we're already probably seeing that behind the scenes. All these people are probably, I mean, not only they're looking into venues now, they've probably been looking into venues during COVID, because if you're planning an event where you plan to have 2,000 people there, it's not just one of those things where, like, in September, Riptide's successful, and you're like, all right, call up my venue. We're going to run an event.
Yeah, I mean, they would have been doing it even before. And, like, if Riptide didn't turn out well, they would have to push it off. Like that's typically how people work with venues.
So Moky, you
Sure.
were about to say something, then you got cut off by Edwin.
Oh, I was
My
just gonna
bad.
say I really hope that people aren't like super whack about the seating, because I know we were just talking about it, but like
Mm-hmm.
there's so many people who always talk about like, oh, so and so is gonna be so good on LAN, and it's just like I think it is different, but at the same time, it's like you don't know that. It's like such a weird spot with seating where like I don't know. I know people are gonna be so like I don't know. Because there was that ultimate tournament I think like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and people were mad about seating. I saw on Twitter. I'm like how could you possibly be mad about this right
Dude,
now?
ultimate players and seeding, those like I don't want to hear those words in the same sentence. I can't imagine a more insufferable.
I have heard stories. I mean, like, so, I introduced myself as Gimme That Week tournament seeder and part of the administrative team on the MPGR. So obviously, I'm a tournament seeder, so I have a little bit of input in this. And like, look, Melee players are very entitled. Well, I think we don't have to beat around the bush for that. But if they're entitled, it's probably just because there's so many people who are so into it and wanting to create such a infrastructure for the game that people kind of get used to that. And I think like, obviously we see stuff like Uncle Punch, like, creating such a good thing that we didn't have before. A lot of people were like, well, other games have training modes. But one of the things that we probably created for the worst was seeding very, very low. And I think it's like super cool for majors. I am part of the major seeding team, and we have seeded to like past 300 seeds at majors.
Oh my god.
Like it is important to us to, if you are a person who is PR level, that you like get a good seed. Yeah, and even if that means that you might be 193rd or seed or whatever like that. But for all we're entitled we are, for all the complaints, I have heard that the complaints on the Smash 4 and Ultimate side just go so much deeper. Like so much further. And the thing is, their games, like you got 80 characters or some shit like that. Of course anything's gonna happen. Yeah, like everyone probably has a win on a top 10 player. It's like, yeah, sure, you beat DeBuzz. Here's your 80th seed. You're seated right below the person who beat Tweak. It's like, that's just how it works.
That's very funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm ready. I don't know what I'm going to be seeding. I'm ready. Throw me into the blender. It's going to be so fun to like seed the people who have like literally never been to a LAN tournament and seed the people who have literally never played online. I'll put my Venmo out there by the time I'm seeding stuff.
Like, wait, can you imagine Freezus showing up? Like, imagine seeing like Freezus versus Naomi in pools or something.
It'd be nuts.
That could happen.
No, but I'll put my Venmo out there in case anyone wants to bump their seed up. There'll be like I'll have this whole algorithm created. If you want to be first seed, I'm gonna take a cruise on your dime. No, I'm looking forward to it all. It's gonna be sick. I mean personally, I hope I don't know like what your comfort level is coming into the 2022. Like I don't know. I mean, I hope we can like my hope for all of this is that 2021 we can write off as like a fun bonus, right? The fact that we're getting Summit and Riptide and who knows what else is like the cherry on top of this. And then I hope at 2022 we can just like we're already back in it. Like, do you think are you comfortable with going to majors in like if you're fully vaccinated in 6 months?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Myself, like even Riptide, I probably would have been comfortable going. I'm just waiting to see. Like I could see myself being, as long as like the border isn't a hassle and like it's not like a pain to do that, like more of a pain with COVID and like just I'm second vaxxed, then I'm perfectly okay with that myself. I'm pretty excited to see everyone again and just do that.
What if Canada is pretty close to Detroit.
Yeah.
What if for the big house, they set up like online, like a LAN center across the Lake Ontario or whatever. Yeah. And all the Canadian players can just play Slippy like 15 ping for across Lake Ontario. How would you feel about that?
That'd be kind of hype. Because the thing, no one's gonna cheer against you, and if they do, they're like they're outcast for sure.
Yeah, imagine you're on the Canadian side,
yeah,
and you're playing versus like Hungrybox, and someone's like, "Go HBox!"
Like, yeah, like I'd be down. That'd be because the thing is like there'd be people in America who like, because Canada, we have so much pride for being Canadian. Like in terms of our players, we're so excited. No one cares about no one cheers for someone because they're American. no one's gonna like do that, right?
I mean, people cheer for one player because he's American, but I also just think it's because he's Mango.
Yeah.
It just happens to have a USA chant. Yeah, dude, that'd be so funny if people are like, I'm not ready to cross over the border, and they just like literally across the lake just set up the LAN center.
That's pretty funny to
LAN
imagine.
Dude, it'd be crazy. Oh, that's so funny. Who knows? We're talking about the offline majors. Maybe that's the IBW got us a lot of good Twitter engagement because he talked about how offline majors should have online pools. Maybe we just
good engagement, not good feedback.
No, that was a bad opinion.
Yeah, it was literally such a bad opinion that it convinced me. Like my mind completely melted when I heard it, and I was like, I've literally never thought of this before.
You were in shock.
I was in such shock that I was like, oh my god, like this must be good. And then it hit me about like a day and a half later. I was like, what? This is the most insane idea. Who would ever do online pools for LAN majors?
It's one of those things that you hear, and it's just easier to not process it. Someone at my work told me that all of the presidents are related. All the U.S. presidents are related. And then someone was like, well, not Barack Obama, right? They're like, no, he's George Bush's second cousin. Like, look, I'm sure there's a like debunking, like easy debunking that can go into this. But I heard that, and I was just like, not my place. This is, I will let this happen. And I think that's what happened with the IVW thing. It's like, sure, online pools. Moky, if we can get a horrible soundbite from you that gets us Twitter engagement, that'd be sick.
Yeah, I'll try to think. I'll try to think of something awful I can say for you guys to tweet about.
It has to be awful enough to get us Twitter engagement, but not awful enough where it's evidence.zip2 levels. So try to toe that line.
Okay, yeah, I'll be thinking about it the rest of this show.
Is this a good chance to move into the stock exchange, or is there anything else you want to recap when it comes to offline majors?
I think when you mention evidence.zip2, it's a good time to move into the next conversation.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, Edwin, you've got a little segment for us, don't you?
Yeah, I do. So Moky, every week, except last week, but every that's always a great way to start.
And the week before that, we had a week off.
Yeah, that's always a great.
And the
way
week
to start.
before that was a special.
All right. Well, what's supposed to happen every week is that everyone on this wonderful show gets around in a round table, and they go back and forth on the hottest topics of the week. This is called the Edwin Budding Stock Exchange. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to bring up a segment. I'm going to quickly explain to you the segment. And you two are going to go back and forth with 30-second answers each. All right.
Oh God.
And the person with the better answer gets a point. So the way this works is basically I'll ask a question. I'll describe what segment it's part of.
Okay.
Well, I guess I'll describe the segment it's part of. Okay. You know what? Just go along with it. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And neither of us know it, right? Like you guys are not in on this
No, this is not a rigged.
Okay.
This is
okay.
But there's no guest favoritism. Wheat's very good at this. Few people beat him.
No, I'm gonna get destroyed.
I mean, we have had variations on this idea in different podcasts, and it just is like whoever Edwin thinks is funnier, which tends to be the person who he talks to on like a daily basis.
Okay.
Which I don't know. Hey, this maybe Edwin's trying to be your friend by the end of the episode. Who knows what will happen?
We'll find out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I better win.
Let's get started then. So for our first segment, it's called Buy or Sell, but we're gonna do Buy or Sell a little differently this week. So essentially, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna name 2 stocks in the Melee community, okay? And you have to buy one stock and you have to sell the other one, okay? So Moky, I want you to tell me, buy or sell. The 2 stocks are Albert and Magi.
Ooh.
Is it just in general, like, or is it in terms of like Melee results, or is it just in general?
It can be. I was thinking Melee results, but if you can turn it into something funnier, or give a more creative reason, that's fine as well. So I'll give you your time now.
I was just gonna say, because I know Magi streams more and I think cares more about that kind of stuff, so I'd probably buy Magi and sell Albert. That's probably what I'd do. That's how it works, right? The one that I think is gonna go up, I buy.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a zoomer.
Yeah, that's typically how you buy or sell.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, because I think she seems very interested in like summit campaigning and stuff like that, and she's probably gonna come back to just grinding really hard. I imagine so, especially with LAN coming back. So I know she kind of went on like a dry spell of not entering, not streaming much. But since stuff is coming back, I imagine she's going to be grinding that really hard.
Right.
And since she cares all about streaming a lot as well, I would probably go that route.
All right, Wheat, give me your answer.
I agree. I'll buy Magi, and unfortunately I'm going to sell Albert. I mean, I think who's going to be the better Melee player? Who knows? But Albert's probably going to, I don't know. He looks to me like the type of guy who is going to have a nice, like, $70,000 a year job. And at that point, you know, what are you doing Melee for? On the opposite end, I think Magi is going to be a big streamer, and you're going to be able to buy, like, Magi branded schoolgirl outfits or whatever she wears when she streams. And for that reason, I will buy Magi on this one.
All right, Wheat, buy or sell. Your 2 stocks are Zeker and Sika.
You have fallen into a rabbit hole, dude. You need to be woken up from this. I don't even know what to say. I mean, I would preferably not touch this question, not because of them. I will buy Sika because he was a one-time Melee Stats patron, and I will sell Zeker because as of right now, he has never donated to the Melee Stats Patreon at patreon.com/MeleeStats. All
right, Moky?
I don't know what to say. I am no chance in hell I'm buying Zeker, dude. There is no shot I buy that kid, dude. No way. No, I'm gonna buy Sika.
You guys are laughing. He just took a set off Aklo.
He did. No, there's actually.
Wait, did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's good, dude.
Wait, can I change my answer?
No, it's too late. All right. And Moky, for the final question of this segment, buy or sell. Elliot, your 2 stocks are Elliot and Neologism.
Oh, that's so hard.
Lots of Canadians today.
Oh my god. I'm gonna say Neo. Elliot's the boy, but Neo's the Ontario boy. They're both the Canadian boys.
Elliot's the boy, but Neo's the man.
Yeah. I don't know. Neo's really, really good. I just feel like he doesn't he's been entering more online and he's been showing it. But like every time he was one of the people who always gave me the most trouble. I'd play my Brad because I'm like, why do I have to play this guy? This is not who I want to be playing right now. Just did locals. I think he's like really, really good. He's really underrated.
All right, Wheat, tell me.
So I think I'm gonna buy Elliot and I'm gonna sell Neo. There's a couple different reasons for this. One would probably be, Elliot has an HBox win. Elliot is able to. He's been attending so many tournaments online, like every online major I've seen him enter, and I think Neo has had good results online, but just not entering a ton. But the thing that seals it for me is that I've heard, his boys refer to him as Jism, and I'm not down with that. I can't co-sign that as a like thing you call your friend.
Yeah, I
so
think that's
I will have
hazing.
to buy Elliot, who currently doesn't go by anything. That sounds like Chisholm. So,
all right. Okay, so Wheat. The next segment is called "Are You Buying the Dip?" So Moky, Wheat's familiar with this, but Moky, this segment, I'm gonna name a melee stock that's currently low right now at a dip, and you're gonna tell me if you're buying it with the expectation that the stock is gonna go up and that you think it's gonna do better, or if you're not buying the dip because you think the stock is gonna stay the same or down.
Yeah, you are like burning a lot of bridges. Like the first question immediately was,
you know what? I'm just gonna commit. Okay, I'm just gonna commit.
Yeah, just do it.
Whatever.
All right.
Okay, whatever.
Wheat, are you buying the dip on LSD?
yes, but I am. This is a stock that I'm trying to sell immediately. LSD. It's one of those things where you don't hold on to the stock forever. It's not like Boeing or whatever. No, LSD is the like shit coin or whatever, and Elon tweets about it for a second.
Come on.
LSD is a super good player, but like in the next 6 months, they will retire and unretire like 8 times. So I will buy the dip, and I'm like with precision, with like surgical precision, I will sell the second they like get one good result.
And Moky?
I probably wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't go as far as to say that they are a shitcoin, but I think I don't know. I don't know how they are feeling on Melee. It seems to. I know I'm kind of a similar way. I dip a lot. I'll like my motivation, my results will either be really high or really low. But it's too hard. I would not buy myself if I was doing low, so I cannot buy LSD if they're doing low.
All right.
I am a big fan of LSD. LSD's play is very good. I'm a big fan of everything outside of the play for LSD. They're a very, very entertaining player to watch. One of my favorite players to just see the trajectory of.
Moky, are you buying the dip on Genesis?
Oh, easy. Like, that's not even a question. Dude, you see how many people sign up for a water park tournament right as soon as COVID's ending? Everyone's going to Genesis ASAP. I'm easy buying that. No one's missing it. If anyone in the world wants to go to a major and they're second backed up and they have the means to, everyone's going to Genesis. I'm super buying that.
And wait.
I mean, yeah. I don't see a world where you don't buy the dip for Genesis. Genesis, like, maybe do I hug every single person I see at Genesis 8? I don't know. But like, there's no way that Genesis 8 rolls around and it is an event that anyone would miss. It's really similar to Genesis 3 when it came back and like everyone wanted to go. I think we'll see something very similar for Genesis 8 if it does happen around the same time, like early 2022. I think we will see like every player who's a good player, I think they'll show up, and then we will see returns for a lot of retired players. I don't think there's a reason to buy the dip in Genesis.
All right. And for the last question of this segment, Wheat, are you buying the dip on Dr. Mario?
No, I'm not buying the dip on Dr. Mario. I'm glad that this isn't like, I don't know. I would be worried if we had it like turned down for Walt on at some point, and you asked me this question because I know that he loves his little Mario guy, but I don't think Doc, Mario, or Luigi are very good characters in different orders. No, I don't think Doc will ever. I'm not going to ever buy that. I like Franz, but no, not buying that.
How do you feel, Moky?
I think I've always been someone. I think that even the worst characters in Melee are a bit better than everyone thinks, Doc included. I think Doc's like decent, like he's okay. He's not amazing, obviously, but he's like better than people would think. But there's no way in hell I'm buying a dip for Doc. I fucking hate that guy, dude. He is so annoying. And even if he pops off and I regret it, I don't think I'll regret it that much because I don't want any part in his uprise, I guess.
All right.
So.
And for our last question in our last segment is called Market Watch. So typically what happens in this segment is that you pick a stock related to the topic at hand that you're long-term investing in. So the question for our Market Watch, Moky, is which
wait, sorry, what is it? Wait, sorry, what it?
Oh, sorry. Let me explain that again.
Sorry.
So basically, Market Watch is just like a long-term investment segment. So like it's a long-term prediction. So Moky, tell me which offline player who hasn't been around online, which one is going to return to competing and catch everyone by surprise at their next LAN major?
I come like no, it's not like a multiple choice. I just have to
no, just like which inactive player basically do you think will come back and destroy LAN?
Okay, I'm not gonna go with like I think Leffen's like the easy one, even though I guess he's in Europe, right? I guess he entered some stuff, but in terms of that, I'm gonna go with I think Fiction. Fiction's really, really, really good. A lot of people's expectations shift after people don't enter tournaments for a while, and I think people's expectations on Fiction are going to be pretty low, especially with him playing Falco. But I don't know if he's going to play Falco on LAN or not, but he seems to be putting in a lot of effort, and he's had success with secondaries before. And I think Fiction's genuinely just a very smart guy, especially when it comes to melee, and he's gonna do really well.
You got the last word.
The two players that pop into my head are players who have not seen, like basically throughout the entirety of the online melee era, whatever you want to call it. But I don't think I can pick them. I think the things that were in my head were Jake and Shaken and Prissant, who I think are both like amazing. I think Jake and Shaken was a player who everyone just kind of was like, yeah, they're good, but it's just super all around good and was ready to shoot up, and then COVID happened. And Prissant, we talked about how like he could beat Leffen in a 5v5 Iron Man. But I'll go to another European. I'm going to go Sechi. Sechi is a player who has both not played online, but I think really wants to play. I think that there's some internet connectivity issues going on there. So I think seeing Sechi in person, he's such a labber. He is the Chef Rock behind Chef Rock. And I think that given travel, like, without travel restrictions in Europe, I think that we would see him be top 3 in Europe.
All right. Thank you guys for your answers. This was a really good stock exchange segment. I'm just going to say, though, that while it was a difficult decision to pick a winner, I finally picked one. Congratulations, Moky. You've won the Edwin Budding Stock Exchange 4-3.
No, yeah, you're my favorite host, man.
This is
Thank you.
This is rigged.
So, Moky, now that you've won the Edwin Budding Stock Exchange, you got a minute to talk about whatever you want. So, take it away.
I did not expect this at all. What's up, boys? How's it going?
We're not allowed to talk.
All right, it's over.
Wow, I've never seen someone lose their time so quickly.
Yeah, minute of fame done.
Edwin's actually like, wheat won. Sorry, I did the math wrong. No, I do I accept this loss? No, I think that this is rigged. But would I respect Moky if he did beat me? Yes. So if I were to lose, which I don't think I did, Moky would be a great person to lose to.
Thank you.
And Moky, you're not the winner, but we have some questions for you. Our lovely people over at Patreon have asked some questions. Now, we have had, this obviously we've had a couple different episodes. We're on episode 8, and we've been doing this segment the entire time, asking people questions from the Patreon. And if you guys want to throw any into the Twitch chat, if there's anything good, we'll read it. I gotta say, up and down in terms of quality. Sometimes we get really great, insightful questions from people, and sometimes they just like it's all memes. No one's actually trying to say something real. And unfortunately, you are on the latter end of that.
I would accept that. My chat is they are God bless their souls. They are the memeiest people of all time. So
yeah, so let me see what we got here. I don't like that question. I don't like that question. Okay, here's a good one. So, who is someone that's been grinding a lot but hasn't entered much of anything online that looks forward to seeing when LAN finally fully returns? Oh, wait, that was on the Edwin Budding Stock Exchange. Okay, can't ask that one.
Wow, already great start.
What about, on a more serious note, it seems like in spite of it being easier than ever to compete in tournaments, top players for the most part don't enter many net play events. It would feel like we already did that in the beginning half of this show.
I can add a tiny bit to that, because I do think that the net play experience can be a bit exhausting sometimes, like a tournament. Because the thing with my ritual when I'm at a major is I play, like, I pee a lot, I drink a lot of water, and I take a lot of steps outside, and I kind of cycle that, and then like a little bit before I have to play, I sit down and I warm up, and it's a bit harder to do that because when you're at home you feel like you have to stream because it's like you may as well. You're gonna make, like, you're gonna get good viewership and like make subs if you win and whatever, but it's hard to like just leave your stream and do that. So a lot of the time you're just kind of sitting in front of your computer for like hours on end, and it gets very exhausting. So I think that's probably a reason. It is pretty, like, ironically, sometimes it feels more tiring to enter online than like actually being at a tournament, which is funny, but I would that'd be my little insight on that.
I have heard from former guest Pipsqueak. I think Pipsqueak's a big walker for online tournaments. Like, I know that not all online tournaments are like give you schedules where you're able to do that, but he's talked about, like, if he has a long break, he'll just take a walk around wherever, somewhere around Sweden, just like clear his head. And look, he beat Leffen on box. But you beat Leffen too. How much did you walk the day where you beat Leffen?
I was like running a lot because that's the shine where there was like the killer mosquitoes. So
yeah,
I was
like running away from the killer mosquitoes.
I'm not being outside at all. Yeah.
So
what did you think of the food options at that shine?
I know there's like a taco place, right?
There was a pretty okay taco place. I went there with Wally and Save Melee.
I think I got wings one night. It was okay.
You're talking about Shine?
Yeah.
Shine 2019 in Worcester. There
Yeah,
was a Pizzeria Uno where I went with Cool Lime and
me.
Edwin, unbeknownst, you came in separate. You didn't tell us you were coming. You came in separate. They seated you right behind me, and then you wanted me to ditch him and go to your table. But then you kept trying to talk to me as if we were like spies in a movie. We were like sitting back to back.
Yeah, it was great. We were sitting back to back. It was like, do you want us to just come sit with you? And I was like, no, this is perfect. This is what I dreamed of. It was great.
Speaking of water, Moky, sorry, Edwin's probably got a good question. I'm going to ask you, you've been drinking a lot of water today. How many ounces in that bad boy?
What? You just said I had a good question, then you asked it.
It was like the second biggest size. I think it might be like 32. I don't know. It's pretty big though. It's like
this is an iron flask.
Yeah.
I have.
Oh, you have the
64
kind.
one. Oh, and you know what? You're right. They do suck. It doesn't keep anything cold.
Dude, one of my issue is this lid. I'll fill it up because I bought this so I stream it. I don't have to keep filling up like a glass. Mm-hmm. I fill it up, but the cap, like, you have to screw it really hard, so it always drips all over me. Like, it just doesn't.
I broke that cap. I kicked it off my bed accidentally. I had it like on the side of my bed, perched, and I kicked it off, and the cap just like destroyed itself. So I used the one where you have to, do that and then suck from it. I have a Yeti. I have a smaller Yeti. It's amazing. It keeps it cold for so long. Okay.
Please,
we're having kind of a good conversation here.
No, it's a melee show, not a water bottle show.
Okay, we could pivot.
Yeah, the water ball stats. Moky, I wanted to. So this is something I've talked about with like other like Fox players and everything. Just when it comes to sort of like predicting how different characters will turn out, like in the future of the metagame or whatever. And a common sentiment that I hear among Fox players is that like Fox is incredibly well developed, like situationally and like technique wise across like a ton of his matchups. And I wanted to like kind of pick your brain on this. Like where do you see Fox as a character developing, and is there any like lingering questions about the character and like how he operates that you don't think have been answered yet?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't think I'm the best at like putting thought. Like I think I'm not like a big thinker when it comes to that stuff. Like obviously like I do put my effort in that. I'm big like feel kind of like I got it like subconsciously, and then I'm like not the best at explaining my thoughts, I guess is the proper way to word it. But I think there is still quite a bit for Fox to improve upon. I'm not sure the exact areas, because I think people think I play weird, for example. Like people think I do like I know I do some stuff that's like weird or like other Foxes don't do.
Like in your combo game or your game plans, or
yeah, like combo game and like some of the ways I get openings, and like I don't know. The thing is everyone plays Melee differently, you know? Like everyone learns the game differently. Everyone has different ways of thinking, and even if you like I don't know exactly how to word it. It's like you can always take stuff from other people that they're doing better than you, and I think that for Fox there's so many different play styles that you can kind of just like pick and choose from that. Like, I don't know. Like, if you look at all the Foxes, they all pick some different options. And who's to say that, like, you don't just, like, take those and, like, make it a bigger beast by, like, just having everything on top of it. Like, and, like, stacking it. Does that make any sense?
Sort of.
Yeah.
I think.
I want to say we did this. I think I tried to do it and no one wanted to join me on this. A while back, I tried to think of like creating some sort of Frankenfox from just individual Fox players in matchups. And I want to like Leffen, Armada, Mango. I don't know. Maybe Plup. No, keep Plup. Leffen, Armada, Mango excluded for Fox. Like if you could create a Fox player for like each matchup, like what would you think? Like it would be like, oh, I'll be like the best Fox would be Kobold versus Falcon, and they'd be, you know, KJH versus Samus. Like what I mean, this is a dumb question, but I thought of it 3 years ago, and no better time to ask than right now.
No. So what, like for each matchup, like the relevant ones? Is that
yeah. If you had to create like some sort of Frankenstein version.
I think Leffen's like a cheap answer for a lot of them. I think he's just
you're not allowed to pick Leffen.
You don't get to pick Leffen.
Oh, you're right. Oh,
that's the fun part.
Oh god. I
also said this before Cody got like super good. So I don't know. But
I think like Fiction for Peach. He helped me with Peach. I think he understands Peach really well. I'd say Fiction for Peach. Maybe I want to say myself for so the ones I know I'm good at are like I'm comfortable with Fox. I would say myself for Fox. I think Cody would disagree, but he's not here. I'll give myself for Fox. I'll say myself for like Yoshi, and maybe myself for Falcon, because I think I'm pretty good at those overall. Obviously, sometimes you have hiccups or whatever, but overall, those are like ones I'm really, really good at. Falco, I'm not too sure. I feel like Fiction might be. No, KJH is really good against Falco, right? KJH is like really good against Falco and Samus, and I think Cody's like nuts against Puff. What I'm missing? I must be missing some. Cody's probably good against like Puff and like Luigi and stuff like that. I don't know. It's very hard. I want to give myself the benefit of the doubt, and because I gave myself a lot of the relevant matchups.
What about Sheik?
Sheik?
It's probably SFAT, right?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Also, are we not going to say Marth? I feel like we're kind of. This is a
Marth,
pretty obvious
probably
one.
Cody. Yeah, Cody.
Yeah,
Cody. For some reason, I just didn't think of Marth. He's like, I've repressed him completely from my from my mind.
You're like, man, I really love Melee. You sit down at like your first LAN, someone picks Marth, you're like, I forgot he was in it.
You sit down
I
on a
forgot
setup.
this guy's.
You sit down on a setup with like John Wick or something. You don't recognize him or whatever. Like some random like super lopsided strengths like Spacey player like Spacey Slayer type. But you don't know, but like you won't know what they look like. So they tell you your tag, they tell you their tag or whatever, and it's like, oh, I'm Quaff or something. Well, I guess Moky, you might recognize Quaff in Alberta, right? Like
the melee stats road to riches is at Genesis 8. We're gonna liquidate all of our assets, and we're gonna just go around like uncut gems. And we're gonna see like John Wick on a setup versus
Eric or something, right?
Dude, I was thinking Eric,
yeah.
And all the Ontario people were just like, we just bet against them. John Wick, takes or whatever. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Dude, when 100 grand goes to his next major, the 100 grand is free money against people who don't know him.
You got the old heads who don't know the Zoomers, and then you got the Zoomers who don't know the old heads, and we're just on the other end of it.
Yeah.
Eating surf and turfs all day.
Dude, like Red is gonna beat like, oh my god, I'm trying to think of like a Zoomer Fox. Like Red's gonna come back and beat them, and people are gonna be like, "What? Have you heard of Red?" Like yeah, dude, Red's good. So many people like that, dude.
Speaking of people, so you have qualified for Summit.
Yeah.
And like I want to hear like both if everything goes according to plan, one, who are you most excited to play there? And I guess two, like who would you want most to make it? So qualifying through tournament or getting voted in?
So I think the person I want to play, I always just want to play like Mango and Zane. They're the only two people I've never really beaten, other than like maybe someone who got like a random upset on me that I like never played again, but like I'm still like favored or whatever, or like people I just never played. So I just mostly just them. I really want to play them and try to figure it out because I know I'm like pretty close, but I just need to figure some stuff out and try it against them. And I really want Johnny to make it in, which is kind of a cop-out because I just want the people who are like really, really good to make it in because I think that's very interesting.
Right.
And Johnny got so screwed over with SCL because like he lost. So basically what happened with Johnny was like he lost to Cody and then he lost to me to make it into like the winners of the final bracket. And then he played Ben, and then he had to play the loser of me and Cody. So one of the people who beat him the week before, he was guaranteed to play. So it's just like, it was just dumb. Like, it's just like very unfortunate for him. He's obviously been really good, and it feels like he kind of deserves to be in Summit. And I feel like he's a shoe-in, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you agree.
Yeah. But that's the person I want most, which I guess is kind of a lame answer. But I just feel like he really deserved it. I don't feel right that I'm in it. He's not, because I feel like he got kind of cheated out of it a little.
Yeah. What about here? I'll turn the tables. This is questions for Moky, but I'll ask Edwin. Edwin, who do you want to see at Summit?
I want to see LSD get rewarded for dropping out of Gailey Summit, just so that they can campaign for a real Summit. And then when they go there, they'll be like, actually, I don't feel like playing. I'm gonna play Game & Watch in my matches. For their second round, they'll beat like they'll beat like some player in their first match of pools or whatever. You never know. You never know with LSD. That's my pick. No, that's not my pick. I'll go with Kadorn. Why not? I predicted Kadorn as an outside shot to potentially win GOML Online, so I'll go with him again for Summit. I think he's been putting in so much work. The only thing with Kadorn that I really wish I saw, I want to see how he does against Face Roll now. Like, that used to be a really lopsided rivalry for a while. Then Kadorn kind of brought it close again before Face Roll jumped ahead of him. But Kadorn has gotten so much better over the last, like, year and a half. And I'm curious to see, in particular, out of, like, the doable matchups or, like, that he will have at Summit, I really want to see how he does against, against a lot, like, faster players. Like, honestly, I do want to see how he fares and like how he adapts to players like IBW and even you, Moky. Like I think it would be really interesting because like where he kind of like where Kadorn is known for, or what he's known for, is like being really good against Sheik. Like he's pretty solid in the Marth Ditto. Like he has a really bad lifetime losing record against SJ, but like he recently beat him for the first time, and I think he's even up or even with Gatsu for the year. And I think it's strangely enough, like relative to the rest of his top tier matchups, I think Fox is actually like on the lower end of matchups that he's good in. So I want to see how he does against the best Fox players.
No. Yeah, no, he's good. He's one of the people who I know is really, really good, but I'm so happy I haven't played him in quarantine because God knows what the connection would be. It would just be
yeah, I guess he's West Coast, right?
Man, we're playing on like 120 ping. Wait, how I didn't see him down tilt. Why am I here?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a scary person. I would say Panda. I think Panda, dude, Edwin and I have talked about it. Edwin and I we were laying in bed together.
Wait, what is it?
We were watching from the Genesis hotel room, the Genesis stream. I don't know why we just didn't go downstairs. We were watching it, and I think we were like joking. We were like, yeah, Panda's gonna beat X. And then we watched like the dumbest upset. It was so great. It wasn't like, I mentioned surgical precision earlier, and like that was how you describe R2D versus Axe. That was someone who knows the matchup so well. Now Panda was just like up smash it, it would just happen to hit, or he'd do all these things, and then he'd play really smart, and then he'd get like a stock lead, and then we used the zany emote to describe him, the zany emoji, which is like,
yeah, like the tongue sticking out. That's
his play is like immediately after he gets the lead, he just like nares into the corner. It's like, what are you doing?
He starts like wave landing on Randall, like showing off and everything. It's like, dude, you're playing Axe at a super major. Like you can't just be like wilding out. This dude, so, I swear, Panda,
I need to see that energy brought into Summit.
Panda, I think I wrote about him earlier in the year exactly the way that you described him, Wheat, for like my East Coast like breakdown preview, and I think the words I used were, I think I said Panda's like melee results are the equivalent of like the tongue sticking out emoji. I literally have no idea what Panda will do at any given tournament. And I think like a week later he beat Gatsu or something and had like a
he had
tournament.
that run at the Austin Melee Bender where he
he had that too.
Did he beat Ben twice or did he just beat him once? I don't really remember.
I think he beat him twice. Panda is like Panda and Akir are the two like difficult opponents for Ben, and this was around the same time when Ben.
And who else?
Oh, well,
Ambi Sinister.
Well, he beat Ambi in the run back. To be fair, we can't gas up Ambi too much anymore for this.
Mm-hmm. What else do we got? Do we get chat doesn't have any questions for Moky. Moky, do you have a tat? Would you ever get a tattoo, and what would your tattoo be?
I would. It'd probably be something that's not like a big picture or something. It'd probably just be like some small thing that looks very artistic, but it's like, I don't know, something like that. I think something that just very like aesthetic, and it's not like a big, like I don't want to get like a moose on my back or something. It would probably be like something very simple and kind of small. I don't know exactly what, but thought about it. Yeah.
Edwin,
are you asking me? It's not really my thing. I wouldn't.
Edwin, all the members of Melee Stats should
got tattoos.
We just get a tattoo right here.
Oh my god.
Melee Stats logo.
I don't know.
Then we like do a rebrand, and then we have to like get it laser removed, and then get a new one. Maybe
when we hit 100 Twitch subscribers, sure. Well,
100. That's such a doable
amount. Well, we'll see.
What did I get myself into? I'll like make up some lie that MS stands for like my mom.
Wait, actually no, don't get a tattoo of the initials MS. That'll get us like people are gonna look at us weird. Like a
well, gang. I already have a tattoo that says 13 So as long as they don't get them right next to each other,
or you have them on separate arms. Wow, this is very silly. Okay, well, I don't see any. Are there any other questions that?
Oh, Anaconda keeps asking this question. Anaconda, a regular in the Melee Stats podcast Discord server, the link to which would be in the description of this YouTube video. But he doesn't subscribe to us on Twitch or give to us on Patreon. So, Moky, I'm going to ask you which.
Wait, sorry. Wait, did it cut out for you too?
Yeah, no, I can't hear you, Wheat. Oh no.
Oh no. What? Uh-oh.
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 All right. Well, okay. Well, give me a second. Moky, I'll ask you. Moky, I'll actually ask you a like cute little question then while we're sorting that out.
Right. Okay.
What's your like most proud Melee moment or like accomplishment?
So I have two, and I think they're like kind of separate reasons. And they're very obvious. I think in terms of just accomplishment, probably just beating Leffen, like just making top 8 at that shine and like beating Leffen, because that's like fucking hard. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. It's like one of the things where like, because everyone knows Leffen, and it kind of gets me clout when I'm like, yeah, I play Melee, because no one cares when I tell people I play Melee. But if I'm like, yeah, like Leffen, like I beat that guy, then people are like, oh, okay, damn, because people know Leffen outside of Melee. So he's like kind of my in to getting clout as a Melee player in like a more normal place.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We love clout.
Yeah. Also, I can hear you again. Wheat, what's up?
How's it going, man?
There you are. Okay, the stream overlay just kind of crashed a little bit, but that's fine. Well, I can reset that really quickly.
Oh, all good. I had a very dumb question for you. It was actually probably divine intervention that my mic cut out. Okay. I was going to ask, which Breaking Bad character do you think you are?
Oh my God, no!
I respect it.
Not this
we don't
again.
have any questions from the chat, questions from the Patreon, or stuff that we already kind of went over.
Probably just Jesse. I feel probably him. If I had to guess, I don't know, because he's just kind of like this young kid who's like, who's like a bit of an asshole and kind of dumb, but he's like overall you like root for him, and I like to imagine that's me.
Oh, you're not an asshole.
Well. Jesse means well. He's like a lovable character.
Yeah. Probably him.
Can you do an impression?
No.
Really putting you on the spot. Oh my God.
That'd be fun.
Putting you on the spot, my man.
Mr. White, he's the devil. That wasn't a good impression.
That was a terrible impression. Oh my God.
You do one then.
I never claimed I could do a good one.
I never said I could do one either. I did it. I did it because the podcast needed it.
All right. Well, I commend you on your attempt. I am a coward and won't be doing that.
We decided that Edwin is Gabe and I'm Badger, I think. Is that what we got to?
You told me I was Saul.
No, I don't think I would give you such a compliment.
You literally told me it's Saul Goodman. Oh my God, I'm malding.
There's not going to be another episode after this. You guys are just going to break up.
I mean, this is the reason why this is happening. It's all on the Patreon subscribers. If they gave us better questions, we wouldn't have to go down to the depths of which Breaking Bad character do you think you are.
Depravity. Oh my God.
Well, speaking of Breaking Bad, we've been having this little segment that we've been running at the end of the show, and we're coming up to wrapping up here. We pretty much exclusively talk Melee, but we are complex humans whose lives don't revolve exclusively around Melee. So I want to take some time. We're going to go around. We're going to talk about something outside of Melee. It could be literally anything that we've been into recently. So I will start. I have been a huge, not a bandwagoner for the 76ers, for the Philadelphia 76ers, because I've always liked them, but I've been a huge playoff bandwagoner. I love to watch the NBA playoffs. I do watch the regular season here and there, but the playoffs, it's like can't miss TV for me, especially if my team is in it. However, the 76ers, as of this recording, just had a very bad loss last night, and I'm not going to pick them. Instead, I am going to pick the original recipe for a Mai Tai. A Mai Tai, a tropical tiki drink. I have ordered it at Chinese restaurants and the like, and it comes out, and it's all just like pineapple juice, grenadine, and rum. And it's not very good. The original recipe, though, is pretty complex, and I had it. It's like surprisingly strong, but all the flavors are there. It's not overly sweet, but it still has that like tropical vibe. I would highly suggest, if you are into making cocktails, or if you have an occasion coming up soon, we're getting into summer soon, that you make it. If you look up the original recipe, the ingredients go from hard to find to extremely hard to find to not produced for like 20 years. So I would say, just use whatever you have on hand. Rum is rum. But I really enjoyed that, and I cannot wait to make it some more this summer. What about you, Edwin? What have you been into recently?
I'm trying to think of an answer that's not Mass Effect. Okay, I got it. So some of you know that I regularly like talk about, or I regularly read a lot and talk about like what books I read a lot. So I've actually been rereading a good amount of like books that I read a while ago, just to like see if I gained any like additional perspective or could like learn new things from stuff that I already read. This is just a thing I do. Like, I don't know, people do it with albums and movies every now and then. But lately I've been reading a lot of like Vijay Prashad lately, and I couldn't recommend him enough. I think he has a really good grasp on like he's a really good grasp on like 20th century history that's told from a perspective that's not just like from the United States or Soviet Union, but in a lot of like, but he basically covers like the history of the non-aligned movement and like a lot of post-colonial projects. And I think revisiting some of his work with a bit more like mature of a mind and kind of like learning about like what happens in other countries, it's really amazing how like as hippy dippy as it sounds, like a lot like universal experiences are universal experiences, right? Like there are things that we kind of there are things that we take for granted as like uniquely American or like uniquely Western, but that's not really true at all. There's a term he uses called like polyculturalism versus just like multiculturalism, which is basically like I mean he's using it rhetorically, but it's basically just like the difference between just having a bunch of people from like different locations versus like having people from different locations and cultures like intertwine and like intermingle with each other. And I just think that concept is really cool.
All right, Edwin, you're scaring the hose. And I want to say, you make fun of the
chromaism.
You make Chroma did not come up with that.
Yeah, well, he didn't come up with the phrase itself, but he said it in our Discord.
Yes, he was the first person to ever say this in a Melee context.
Yes, the first one ever.
You make fun of our water bottle discussion, and yet you go off on this. But this is this is the segment. This is why we do it. And now
we have personalities outside of Melee, baby.
All right,
maybe Moky, your thing was water bottle, yeah.
Yeah. So I've been drinking a lot of water.
This goddamn water bottle discussion.
We just me and my roommates, we signed up for like fostering dogs, and we got our first fostered dog recently, and he's been
nice.
a lot.
I'm becoming a pet owner in a month, so tell me about it.
Yeah, so he's really good. He's like really big. What is he? I think he's like a chow, but he's like doesn't super look like a chow. He's pretty big. He's pretty big. I don't know. You probably can't tell how big this is on the camera, but yeah, he's pretty big. He doesn't bark a lot. He's pretty good. He gets mouthy, and he sheds a lot. and he's a lot of work, but he's been cool and he's really cute. And that's what we've been doing. We've been chilling with him and just making him feel comfortable. But he is a very good dog and very cute, so we probably won't have him for that long because we're just doing fostering stuff. So
nice. What a noble effort.
Yeah. Any tips for an aspiring dog owner? I've never owned a pet in my life, and I'm gonna like get one around like next month.
I'll be honest, my roommate's probably like doing most of the work. I've been doing all the good parts of like, oh hey, like come here, like
the belly rubs.
Yeah, come hang out. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of bad at it. When my roommates left and I was left alone with my dog, he was really dick-ish. So
it's funny.
Yeah, it just gets rowdy. I don't know. It's just like positive reinforcement for stuff, just a lot of treats and stuff. That's kind of what I was told. If he does something you like, give him treats, and if he doesn't, then you make sure he knows. Like if he like pees inside, which he did first time he was here, first night, got off the truck, he came in my room and just peed in the corner over there on my carpet. It wasn't great. Damn. It was disgusting. Yeah.
That sounds really gross.
Yeah, but then instead of getting mad at him, which obviously I was not thrilled, we put him outside and we gave him a treat. So that's what you have to do.
See, the real power play to this, like if Ludwig had a dog pee in the corner of his room, what he would do is he wouldn't scold the dog, and the next time it happened, he would make sure to do it on stream. Instantly, you're top clip. You're on top of live stream fails.
Yeah.
So.
When I was at Mango's, one of his dogs actually peed on me on stream, and that didn't see the light of day. I just had like a couple hundred people make fun of me, so I don't know for sure if that's the best route to go about.
Maybe I don't know about the star making qualities of dog piss. I mean, when we hit 100 subs, I'm going to have a dog piss on me on stream, and we'll see how that goes.
100 subs is going to be nuts for you guys.
What was the thing we said we'd do for 100 subs?
We're getting tattoos, right? And then a dog's going to piss on me.
Yeah. What else? Which order are we going to do that in? Or are we going to do
it at the same time?
Simultaneously?
Didn't you want to like kiss Ambi at 10 subs or something like that, Edwin?
No, I would never say I would kiss Ambi at 10 subs. I said I would blow a kiss at Ambi.
Oh, okay.
And 10 subs.
10 subs to 10. Kiss Ambi. This is just 10. I'll do it.
Not kissing Ambi, blowing a kiss. Very different.
All right. Well, we'll do it at 100.
And at like 50, at our next major, we do like the mob kissing on the cheek. That's the thing, right? Why did I say mob kissing on the cheek?
I'm not sure if the like European kisses on the cheek.
Yeah, that's not a mob thing. Why did I?
Not only that, but I don't know if that survives COVID. COVID has a few things where we're like, it's like maybe we don't have to blow out candles anymore. I think like the Italian kissing, mob kissing as you call it, might not last. But speaking of might not lasting, I think we're running down to the end of this episode. Moky, you've been such a joy to have on the show. You're a 2-timer. It's gonna be like SNL. Once you hit 5 times, we'll get you a jacket.
Oh, I'll hold you to it. Maybe 100 subs. You guys can get it made.
100 subs. We give you a jacket. Dog pisses on me. Edwin kisses Ambi. And we all get tattoos.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
100 subs is gonna be nuts.
Blowing a kiss is different.
So what do you have to plug for us? I know you got some stuff going on. You said you were streaming.
Yeah, I am streaming at Moky_Dokie. I'm dumb and I spelled both those words a bit differently, so it's MOKY_DOKIE. That's like pretty much all my stuff is that. Like YouTube. I'm kind of a bit of on a YouTube break, but I want to get back into it at some point. Twitter and Twitch. And that's kind of it, I guess.
Sick. Last time I had you on, you had just completed an emote. This is how long ago it is, which was Daraki, the Daraki emote.
Okay, yeah.
Now, way back then, you were Moky Doe. That was your... Yeah. And I've been holding on to this thought for 2 years now.
Okay.
That it should have been Moky Doe and then Rocky.
Okay, yeah.
Now, is your prefix still Moky Doe?
It's not, and that's
it's
why
just Moky.
Yeah, that's why I changed it because I was like, like it's not like it's just eventually it's gonna change, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just makes it easier. Like I said, it's not that I could have just changed the name of it when I changed, but
Yeah.
that's my excuse.
Yeah. Well, I'm just letting all my thoughts from April 2019 out. All the things that I've been sitting on for this long. Yeah, I mean, dude, I talked about, we had you on that episode, you were great. Had you on this episode, you're great. Wonderful experience. If you want to watch that episode for people, I don't know how much you want to hear talking about a tournament from April or whatever it was, May 2019. You can do so. You can do so at the Melee Stats archive on YouTube. That's where we have episodes of Waiting for Game. We've got little clips. We've got past podcasts in our playlist. You can do so there. You can subscribe to us there. You can subscribe to us on Melee Stats to watch our long-form content. You can visit us over at twitter.com / Melee Stats Pod for tweeting out of daily results, and you can see us over at meleestats.co for Monday Morning Marth and Wednesday Melee. You can subscribe to us here at Twitch at twitch.tv / dude, I love saying / Melee Stats, and support us on Patreon at patreon.com / Melee Stats. Edwin, did I do it?
Yeah, you did it. And I just wanted to shout out 3 subscribers today. PD Penguino, Ebb and Flow, and Self-Flagellate. Thank you guys so much for the primes.
Dude, we're on our way. What is this, 11?
Yeah, 11.
That's 11% of the way there.
That's 89 until we get the MS tattoos and have a dog on you.
And Moky gets a jacket.
And Moky gets a jacket, yeah.
And possible kiss.
Blowing a kiss.
We don't know what it's going to be by that point. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Catch us next week on Waiting for Game. Peace.
And who should we raid, by any chance?
Good question. I feel like we should have figured this out beforehand.
Yeah, we definitely should have. It's okay.
I hope you cut the audio off for the podcast here.
I did not. Give me a sec.
Rate